So are you ready to go down the rabbit hole? All things Trump Oracle session. Trump, the elections, and timelines. Oh my. Now, before I get started, the first thing I want to say is I am definitely not a Trump hater. And I'm not necessarily a Trump supporter. I don't feel like I'm going to go vote for him, but I'm not a Trump hater. This Oracle session is, man, I just throw the coins and the questions and answers come to me and I'm just sharing what I got. But probably to the dismay of my friends, I want to say that I actually like Trump. I appreciate what he does and I respect what he does. And I know that I'm sure a few of my friends are like going, what? He's so reactive and whatever. But what I respect is his authenticity, that he is being himself, he's being true to himself, and you cannot not love that. He's being his own man, and I truly appreciate that. And also from doing previous empathetic readings are when you become the person or the object that you're reading. I have such understanding of who he is, how he became who he is, that understanding has led to so much compassion and so I have no ill will at all. I get the guy and I like him, okay? So with that said, let's go down the Trump rabbit hole. So this Oracle session, this may be a pretty long video. I'll do my best to keep it rolling. It was over several days and several hours of inquiry, letting the questions and answers roll, and I kind of weave around different issues, but I think you will find it very interesting. So my first line of question was, I wanted to ask about the elections. Who will win? And remember, predictive questions are always wonky because it depends. First of all, the universe, predictive questions are ego generated, and the universe, cosmos, doesn't really like interacting with the ego. Also, they're very difficult because predictive questions, when you ask the questions, it's this point in time. What is the energy of the collective projecting out there? Okay, so first line of question, at this point in time, will Trump be reelected? I got a yes, you could say that, but you definitely need more information. And then I said, will he leave shortly after? Yes, you're like, you've understood enough. Then I asked, will Biden-Harris win? Yes, same strength of yes. And I was like, whoa, what is going on? And then I started inquiring, will the elections be false? And I was like going down this rabbit hole of questions, and I kept getting like, oh, you're going in the wrong direction. You're missing the point. Don't bother asking the questions. You're not going to get, I was like hitting a dead end. And I can tell when ego's asking the questions or I'm heading the wrong way when my hands get sweaty. And boy, they were sweaty and sticky. So I just kind of ended that thing and I said, well, we will definitely have a mystery on our hands in November. And I got, yes, now you understand. So let's just leave it at that. At that point in time, which is I think Monday of this week or last weekend, it appears both, I don't know, Trump will be reelected, sort of, but he will leave shortly after for some reason, and then Biden and Harris appear to win the election. But it gets really wonkier as we go along later in later sessions. So then I moved my line of inquiry because I was still struggling with, how does one half of the population demographic see Trump as like the savior person, and the other group, the demographic, which I describe as kind of like this And I guess I'm speaking more for like the spiritual community. I'm not sure how I'm splitting hairs in my head, but one demographic is the group of people in the spiritual community that are more focused on awakening and enlightenment and all that sort of stuff. And then we have this other group of people that are the rest of the population that are like, yes, Trump is a savior. He's going to save us from everything. I'm still trying to I was still trying to justify that. That's what led to all these questions. Like, can both be true? And the answer is yes, they can. Okay. Okay, so here we go. I'm sorry, this is going to be a little long, but I think you'll find it really interesting. So I just started asking once again about Trump, what he's here to do. Don't worry, it'll make sense in the end. So I said, is Trump truly here to clean up the deep state? And I got a yes, strong yes. And I was like, what? I expected a no because, okay, but just hold on. Trump is here to liberate people from the deep state control and manipulation. Yes. And I was like, oh my God, this is contradicting everything I got before. Hold on. Trump is playing a very important role. Excuse me. Yes, 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 like strong yes. His role is to dismantle control and manipulation of people. Yes, yes, yes. And by now in this session, I'm kind of freaking out because I'm thinking, are you kidding? This is what this one group, Trump supporters, are all talking about, that they're saying, so this is a good thing, right? Anyway. And then I asked, like for the third time, I've asked this, is Trump doing all this consciously? And I got a no. This is the third time I've asked this question and I've gotten the same answer, flat out no. And it keeps going. Is all this good that he's doing being done through his shadow ego behavior? Yes. You've understood enough, you haven't hit the nail on the head, but yes, strong yes, you don't need to go any further. Then I asked, by just being himself, that is what's causing the disruption and dismantling of the control system. Yes, yes, yes. Let me continue. And then I asked, is he actually doing any good for the American people? Yes, you could say that. So what I was sensing, let me see here. I think I asked once again, for the third time, did his soul intend to do these things consciously? No. Once again, third time asking this, maybe fourth time, same answer, no. So he's playing a role, unconsciously playing a role through his shadow behavior. By just being himself, he is dismantling the control systems. He's like doing his own thing. And okay, I hope that makes sense. This was very confusing for me. And I asked so many questions and I had to weed out the ones that you didn't need to hear. So anyway, I'll just keep going. And I asked, are Trump supporters being misled? And I got a yes. Being misled because they believe he is consciously doing all of this? Yes. Did his soul intend to do these things consciously? No. Are Trump supporters being misled in other ways? Yeah, you can say that you need to dig more. Are they being misled because they believe he can change everything? Yes, you need more information. Are they being misled by the Republican doctrine? And I'm getting these negative no, and I can feel myself digging into areas that I'm like getting way off track. And then I kind of came back and I could feel the energy flowing again. And I said, is he being misled by the many conspiracy theorists? Not he, the Trump supporters are being misled by the many conspiracy theorists. Yes. And then it hit me. Are the Trump supporters being misled by Trump himself? Yes, yes, yes. Now you've got it. Hit the nail, whatever those signals are. And why is that? Is it because he has no true plan? Yes. So I don't know if any of this made any sense, but I would say once again, because he's not consciously here doing all this stuff, Trump supporters believe that he is, but it's kind of like accidental. He's playing a very important role, kind of accidentally, unconsciously, due to all of his shadow behavior playing out on the American worldwide screen, whatever you want to say. So however, the Trump supporters are being misled because they believe via the conspiracy theories that he's doing this consciously and has a plan to take back control, whatever, take back the America from the deep state. But he doesn't have a plan. So it's actually Trump misleading the Trump supporters. Okay? I hope that made sense. And I don't mean to insult anybody. Okay, so enough with that. And then this was a different day, and I was kind of getting this sense, this feeling that was coming in about timelines. Like, can Trump be savior and sinner both at the same time? And are there two timelines functioning? Now, of course, there are 7 billion plus, however many people are out there, there are many different timelines. But at a higher level, perhaps you could say there are 1 or 2 timelines playing out. And, people like Dolores Cannon, many people have talked about timeline splits happening. And this is kind of where I was going. So I asked, Trump is the savior of people on one particular timeline. Yes, yes, yes. And then I asked, one particular timeline, let's say 3D, I think I asked this question, 3D timeline. Sorry, I'm getting confused. You have 3D timeline and let's say 4D awakening timeline. I think I asked, can we do that distinction? Got a yes, strong yes. So I said, Trump not included in the 4D awakening enlightenment people's timeline. Yes, you could say that you need more discretion. Then, this is where I ask, can we say there are 2 timelines, one called 3D and the other 4D or ascension timeline? Yes. Okay. Then I asked, does Trump remain in the 3D timeline? Yes. These strong yeses are, yes, you've understood enough to move forward. And then I asked, there will be a timeline, that's a hard word to keep saying, timeline split between 3D and 4D. Yes. I don't know why I asked this. Trump is both savior and sinner depending on timeline. Yes, you can kind of say that. And what I felt was, the universe does not like you to use those kind of labels. It's not really appropriate. So yes, you could say that, but we don't like the terms you're using. And I get that. And I was like, okay, sorry, that was kind of not kosher. And then I asked, are the 3D and ascension timelines coexisting right now? Yes, yes, yes. And this is where it gets a little wonky. Will Trump win? Well, maybe it doesn't, because it kind of reflects back to my original question. Will Trump win 3D timeline? No. Will Biden? No. Now it gets a little interesting. Welcome to my fantasy world here. Will Biden-Harris win the ascension timeline? Ding, ding, ding. Yes, yes, yes. Is Kamala Harris actually going to be president on this ascension timeline? Ding, ding, ding. Yes, yes, yes. I'm telling you, this is my fantasy oracle session, going down the rabbit hole, entertainment purposes only. Then I asked, do the timelines split around the elections? And then I got, your question is missing the point, or it's asking something incorrectly. Some wording is wrong. And I said, oh, do the timelines split as a result of the elections? Ding, ding, ding. Yes. And then it came to me. I said, it doesn't matter who wins the elections to bring on Sat Yuga, which is the beginning of the golden age. Ding, ding, ding. Yes, yes, yes. You know, like, you can ask all these questions all you want, but Sat Yuga is going to arrive regardless of who's president. So that's some good news to take along. So did any of this make any sense? It did to me. I hope you found it interesting. Now, just this morning, I decided to do another empathetic reading of Donald Trump. Whew, it was intense. It was quite draining on me. I think I'm still kind of recovering. But I will tell you what I got, a little bit more insight. And it really made me even appreciate him even further as a soul, as a man, as a human, dealing with childhood traumas and all that sort of stuff. So when I tuned into him and I brought his consciousness, the visual of him, and I became him, and I could feel my body, my facial structures beginning to move, to change, to reflect his body. And I even got into his sitting stance, and I could feel it's quite amazing when you do these readings. You actually physically become. I would suspect that if someone was recording me, which will never happen, you would actually see the physical changes. I've done that when I was channeling years ago. Someone said they could actually see the being that I was channeling form on my face. So things like that do happen. Okay, so tuned in, his body felt very healthy. He is actually very healthy. Although I suddenly got, like, my heart was racing, I felt amped up, and I didn't know, I had a little caffeine this morning, so I didn't know if that was kicking in, but what I got was, he's amped up, but he's very healthy. Okay, and I could feel him. We were walking down the hall. He's got very strong legs. I could feel his shoes hitting. I could feel the pants, hitting the thighs. Very strong, deliberate walking. Believe it or not, we even had to go which was, I won't describe that to you, but he was in a hurry, so we just did a quick rinse and got the thing in the paper. So this is how real life it was. Okay, so what I felt was, as he's walking down the halls of the White House, he has an immense amount of pride. Not, I wouldn't say so much bad pride, but he's very, very proud of himself for being in the White House. And it's coming from, like, see, Father, all that beating up that you did on me. Remember, when I checked in my original empathetic reading, I could feel how his father just molded him, forced him, abused him in ways to be someone he did not want to become. Okay, and that's all he knows to be, is be what his father pounded into him. And so I just felt this, like, little boy, huge pride. Like, here I am, Dad. I'm in the White House. Where are you? Kind of also semi-vindictive, or sort of. I think he's still a little afraid of his father, which is very sad. What I also felt is that there is still, I mean, it's quite obvious, there is still that reactive little child in there playing out on the world stage. And that little boy is the reason for why he says one thing and then does another. Because that little boy, he will come out and say what he wants, what he wants to do, and his plan of action and what he believes. And then I felt it. And it broke my heart. Excuse me. That when he had to go into a meeting, I felt this little boy like turn inside of himself and just feel totally berated. Like father is berating me. You have to do it this way. When he has to, what is the word? Succumb to what the advisors say is best. When he has to change his mind. When he has to not be who he was. Okay, it was an awful feeling. He just hates it. He hates having to listen to the advisors. So this is where we get, I say one thing and I do another. He hates it. Poor little boy. Anyway, what I also felt, let me tell you this, and this, you know, I can totally see where Trump supporters, I truly felt his sincerity wanting to do the best for the United States. I felt it. He had this pride, okay? But what also hit me like a freight train, like, aha, but also, duh, we knew this from the very beginning. We should remember this when we're criticizing Trump. Trump is just being who he's always been, a businessman. He is viewing the United States of America as a corporation, one of his businesses. We are a corporation, but he is functioning strictly from that mode of operation. I see the United States as a business, and what do we do with businesses? We want to make money. I'm not a business person, so I don't know what else comes after that, but we want to, grow, make money, I don't know, take over others. I have no idea, but it's all about dealings and money. It's a business to him. And in all of his dealings, I mean, the way he does things, it totally makes sense. If you just consider yourself part of a business corporation, then all of his movements make sense. Okay? He's the CEO of the United States of America. He's not the director of human relations. Okay? So there you go. He's here to make money, make America great again. Okay, what else did I get? And the only way he knows how to operate is on purely, I don't know if mechanical level is the right word, but seeing things mechanically, right? He doesn't have big outside like mystical ways of doing things. It's these money in, money out. We do this, make a deal. We got money, jobs, all that sort of stuff. It's all very mechanical. I don't know if that made sense, but that's how I felt it. I asked him, while I was there, I asked him how he plans to make this corporation great. His answer, whatever it takes. I asked him what he feared, and I saw handcuffs. And this was the tax issue came right up immediately. And he said, being forgotten. And of course, that totally makes sense. And I asked him about the tax issue, like what was going on there? What was the thinking? And he said, we don't pay taxes. And he said, like frantically, we had to keep it all afloat. We don't pay taxes, but we had to keep it all afloat. Like we had to do it. So that was interesting. I asked him about Melania, and he goes, oh, her. the feeling is things are getting very cool. And I felt him, like we were sitting somewhere with her next to me, and we reached to touch her thigh, and she pulled away. So things are a little cool. You know, I wouldn't say that the relationship is on the rocks, but it's cool right now. So thought that was interesting. I asked him, what will you do to win the election? And again, whatever it takes. I said, do you want to win? And he said, I have to. And that just kind of said it all for me. Like, I don't have anything else. I don't know what else to do. I have to. So I don't know if he really wants to. Anyway, I have a great deal of respect for this man, and I like him. I'm not a hater. I don't know if I'm going to necessarily vote for him, only because I never have and never will vote to live in a world where I'm an employee of the place I live in, where like I not have to work, but you know, where I can't be my own person. Like, I don't want to be a slave to the corporation. And it's kind of interesting. I think that's the irony, that it appears Trump supporters are fighting for freedom, but it's interesting that they're fighting to be a part of this corporation, and the corporation has rules, and you're part of the corporation, and you can't be an individual truly. You can't be free. And I want to be part of the little mom and pop community where you have little kiosks, everyone can be themselves, and you're supported by the community, you know, where each person gets to express their own uniqueness. And maybe that means hard work and having a business and selling things and doing stuff, or it means you're in a little hut down in the street sharing wisdom and oracle sessions. I don't know. That's the world. And you don't have to strive and toil and work to have a roof over your head. In my little community, my passion, my own innate wisdom would become my work. I don't know if that fits into the corporation currently of the America, of Trump's America. I hope I've made sense. Okay, I think that's all I've got. I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time.